so hopefully this will be the only call you'll have to be transferred to.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome, sir.
Thank
One
you.
moment.
Curriculum Division, how may I direct your call?
Yes, I was trying to find out information on Constitution Week and the public law regarding that.
Okay, let me get you over to our specialist who handles that area. Just a moment.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is Jim Doris.
Yes, Jim. My name is Bob Brewer. I'm calling from Tyler, Texas. And I was calling about Constitution Week and the public law regarding that and um, the school programs.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me some more information on that about what kind of programs or?
I can. Just give me a moment to pull up some information on my computer.
Okay.
Almost there. All right, so when you said Constitution Week, I think you're referring to Celebrate Freedom Week?
Well, yeah, that was its original name when Rick Green passed it as H. Bill 1776. I think this other one is a federal bill.
So are you making reference to a recently enacted legislation?
Well, I think Rick Green's was in 2002. The one I'm showing here is 2004. I called Representative Lamar Smith, who passed some resolutions after that, but they're not familiar with anything that's more recent.
So this is what I am familiar with, having to do with curriculum here in the state of Texas. And I'm reading a little bit right now, and then I'll stop and I can read more if you're interested.
Okay.
So it makes reference to legislation, the Texas Education Code, chapter 29.907, I believe. Here's what I'm reading. Each social studies class shall include during Celebrate Freedom Week, or during another full school week as determined by the Board of Trustees of a school district, instruction concerning the intent, meaning, and importance of the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of, I'm skipping through this a little bit right now.
Okay.
The Bill of Rights. Is this what you are making reference to?
Sort of, but it didn't seem to be exclusive to social studies classes. It seems, I can read you what I've got. It's like.
So let me take a look at the law to which this is referring, and I'll be able to. What are you looking at, sir?
Each educational institution that receives federal funds for a fiscal year shall hold an educational program on the United States Constitution on September 17th of such year for the students served by the educational institution. And then it goes on about federal agencies, but I'm just concerned about the schools.
All right, so I think I know what happened here. Let me take a look at this law that's referenced here in TEC 29.907. Give me a moment to look something up on my computer. Almost there. I'm looking for 29.907. So I'm in chapter 29 now, and I am looking for 907. So here is what the law that I was referencing says. To educate students about the sacrifices made for freedom in the founding of this country and the values on which this country was founded, the week in which September 17th falls is designated as Celebrate Freedom Week in public schools. The agency, Texas Education Agency, in cooperation with other state agencies, blah, 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 may promote Celebrate Freedom Week through a coordinated program. Nothing in this, and then there's more legal language.
Yeah,
And
nothing.
what happened in response to this legislation was that the Texas State Board of Education mandated that in every social studies course that this Celebrate Freedom Week legislation be followed in one of several ways. Now, there may be other programs, but I'm a social studies person, and I wouldn't necessarily know about those.
Okay.
Is this information helping you, sir?
It seems like we have legislation passed by people that I elected, Public Law 108-447, and then we have a pretty much an unelected bureaucracy that changed the law. Are you saying the TEA or the SBOE?
TEA is directed by the state legislature. So the law that I make reference to is then it falls upon this. It's like an executive branch. So think of a federal legislature, and then the executive branch puts those laws into effect.
Right.
So the law that I'm referring to was put into effect by action of the Texas Education Agency in accordance with the wishes of the legislature.
Okay, and that's the Texas legislature.
Yes, sir.
So I'm thinking this other public law is a federal law.
I'm not familiar with whatever law you're making reference to, so I couldn't tell you whether it's a federal or state law.
Well,
you gave me a number or a date or a legislator.
Yeah, it's in a publication of the National Center for Constitutional Studies. The copyright of this is 2016. The last page, not a cover, of the document says in 2004, Public Law 108-447, Section 111 was passed requiring the following. And then
it
it was
say by whom it was passed, whether it was the state legislature or the federal government?
Well, this is a national publication, the National Center for Constitutional Studies. So I'm just assuming that it's a federal legislation. I don't believe it would be.
If they don't specify a state, I think that's a good guess.
Okay, it says to commemorate September 17th, signing of the Constitution of the United States. Congress has designated September 17th of each year as Constitution Day and September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. In 2004, the public law and yada, yada, yada. So.
Okay, that definitely sounds to me, when they just make reference to Congress, that's federal legislation.
It says Constitution, signing of it, to commemorate, Congress,
and then it seems to me what I was describing to you was state legislation here in Texas.
Right.
Similar to, but not necessarily in response to, what the federal legislation was.
Yeah, and yours didn't it refer to social studies programs or something, or what? Let's see. To educate students with sacrifices made of freedom, the values of which this country was founded, is designated to celebrate Freedom Week in public schools. Sunday's the first day of the week. And it just says the agency, in cooperation with other state agencies who voluntarily participate, may promote Celebrate Freedom Week through a coordinated program. Nothing in this subsection shall give any other state agency the authority to develop a program that provides instruction unless funds are specifically appropriated to that agency for that purpose. So I guess that's the, that just, it says may, whereas this other says, requiring the following,
Okay.
on the federal
Is there-
level.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, sir. Is there a question I can help you with, or?
Okay. I've contacted schools I attended previously and they don't know anything about it.
That's, if you're talking about schools in Texas, sir?
Yes, in Tyler, Smith County, Texas.
Well, if that's the case, I'm sorry to hear that. As you know, sometimes people are not as knowledgeable of the law as they should.
Right.
But if that's a local school district matter, and you're certainly welcome to remind them that this law is on the books and is required in the social studies courses.
Well, this one doesn't seem to limit it to social studies. It says, each institution that receives federal funds. So what is institution? Is that each classroom? Let's see. For students, educational program for students served by the educational institution. So that seems like it's all students in that institution.
I'm not a lawyer, sir, so I can't give you a definition of institution as pertains to that law.
Well, it does say for students served by that institution. So
that sounds to me like schools and school districts.
Yeah, or any student that benefits from federal funding.
Mm-hmm.
A program on the United States Constitution. So anyway,
so sir, if you're telling me that some local school districts that you contacted were not in compliance with these policies, laws that you're referencing,
right,
I would advise you that you should bring this to the attention of the local school district officials. It might be the principal of the school or the district superintendent. So I would start there if that's what you're looking to try to do, perhaps.
Okay. I did that last year with not much, and I wasn't very diligent at it. So I'm doing it more this year.
If you would like to, there is a process which you can file an official complaint if at the TEA. So if you're saying that you have made particular school districts aware and discussed it with them and they still haven't taken action, there is a way to file a complaint. Yeah.
Well, here's my belief on that. TEA is sort of like a administrative bureaucracy. Actually, I'm going to a barbecue with Louis Gohmert tonight. There's a school board coming up this week in Tyler, and also Kevin Ellis will be here on Thursday. So he's the SBOE District 9 representative. So,
yes,
I hate filing any complaints with somebody that's unaccountable to being elected. Am I making any sense?
Yes, a state board of education member is elected.
Right.
And certainly Mr. Ellis can address your concerns as well.
Right. Hopefully he can. So that's why I'm trying to find the most recent legislation.
So the most recent legislation in Texas that I'm familiar with is Texas Education Code 29.90.
Yeah, I've got that.
Okay.
And that's just who voluntarily participate may do some of this stuff. So it's that doesn't tell anybody that anything has to be done.
The wording, but then there's as I said in the Texas Administrative Code, I am seeing the following words: each social studies class shall include.
Okay, but once again, that limits it just to a social studies class, which I think they only study social studies maybe 2 years out of 12.
Your first statement is correct, sir. What I'm reading, it has to do with social studies class.
Right.
However, they study, there is social studies curriculum for grades K through 12. Students take social studies in grades K through 8, and then they take at least 3 social studies courses in grades 9 through 12.
Oh, okay. So that's better than I thought it was. So they study it each year for grades 1 through K through 8.
From kindergarten through grade 8,
Okay.
there are social studies state standards that must be taught. They differ from grade level to grade level.
Okay.
And then in high school, grades 9 through 12, all students must take 3 credits of social studies, which generally means 3 full year courses.
Okay. So that's different from like college, where 3 credits each class could be 3 or 4 credits. Is what you
In the K through 12 system in Texas, a course is generally 1/2 or 1 credit.
Okay. All right. So they have to take 3 years in basically high school, and they have one every year, and K through 8.
That's generally correct, yes, sir.
Okie doke. Okay. I'm just concerned about our country, and it seems like every time I turn around, nobody knows the Constitution. So I'm just trying to get people to learn it.
I understand, sir, and I hope that I've helped a little bit, and I share your concerns.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get your name and number again?
Yes. My name is Jim Doris. The last name is spelled D as in David, O-R-I-S.
Okay.
And my telephone number is 512-463-9581.
Okay. And you're the social studies.
I am the director of social studies here at the TEA in the curriculum division.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jim.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Have a good day, sir.
Yeah, bye.